And welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here on Vancouver Island. It's the capital city of British Columbia, the most western province in Canada. I hope everybody is having a great weekend so far. Welcome, Carolina. Good to have you moderating this class. Thank you. Welcome, Sharman, Sachin, Angel. Good to see many of our regular students. In this class, everyone, we are looking at IELTS speaking part 3. It's the third and final part of the speaking interview. It's a challenging part. We will look at some questions today. We will practice together, and we will talk a bit of strategy on how to get those Band 9 skills. So a step-by-step process. This lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com. For academic IELTS success, please visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. That's generalieltshelp.com. On both of those websites, we've got lots and lots of materials to help you, including speaking practice that's available there. In this class, make sure to speak and repeat. So don't just listen to the class if possible. Repeat what I say, copy my intonation, my fluency, while we wait for a few more of your fellow classmates. This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. We are an official British Council IELTS registration center in Saudi Arabia, and we are a certified British Council agent company. You can click this big red button to join our premium package. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We help thousands of students every day improve for their IELTS exams. For the general version of the test, be sure to visit gieltshelp.com. Same idea, click that big red button to join the premium package there. It's well worth the small investment for all the practice exams, interactive course, over 100 hours of lesson videos. So invest in your studies. It's worth it. Okay, everyone, we have apps that power the websites as well. Academic IELTS Help, links to aehelp.com. General IELTS Help, links to gieltshelp.com. And this week we have been pursuing the concept of exercise and learning, because exercise leads to learning. And I love to exercise myself. I love going on runs. So because one of my hobbies is going on regular runs in different parts of the world when I have the chance, I started a new channel called Fun Run. Check out this YouTube channel, Fun Run. Hopefully it motivates you to start regular exercise or continue regular exercise. Carolina, our moderator, has been fantastic in working with me on this project. So Carolina, if you can throw that URL into the chat, I'll just pin it so students can check that out at some point. I see Rajveer is writing, I just did some cycling. That's fantastic. Yeah, biking, Rajveer, is great exercise. In my opinion, biking and swimming are probably the two best forms of cardiovascular exercise. They're low impact, highly enjoyable. So good for you. All right. That's fantastic, Rajveer. I'm happy to read that. Okay, everyone, so if you have questions at any point in time, just contact me, Adrian, at aehelp.com. I'll be happy to respond to any inquiries that you may have. This is the last class for this week. Then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, no class. And then I'm back on Wednesday with speaking part 1. That's our usual schedule. So these live classes are Wednesday to Saturday at this time and slightly earlier. And next week we have a full week of classes. So I'll put up that schedule a little bit later after this class. So stay with us, subscribe to our channel. Make sure to get notifications for these live classes and for HD uploads. Okay. So here we go. Part 3, speaking So in the IELTS speaking interview, you've got about 12 minutes for the whole interview. And I would say that for that 12 minutes, part 3 is about a third of the interview. So it's about 4 to 5 minutes. And it will always be some questions and topics that are related to the part 2 cue card that follow with that cue card. Okay. So in this case, part 3 is let's talk about fitness and health. And part 3 is really where a lot of the decisions are made by the examiners, whether the candidate is a band 7, a band 8, or a band 9. So they're getting a pretty good idea by the end of the cue card, but definitely part 3 is where you want to shine. So that's where you want to really prove that you have a strong command of the English language and you are an excellent communicator. Okay, that's what you want to do there. So in part 3, just a couple of tips right away. What should you be thinking about for part 3 answers? Okay, and I know that some students already have a good idea because they're in classes regularly and practice. So, and not necessarily just for part 3, but especially for part 3, you want to be thinking about this. So, what are some concepts that you want to keep in mind for part 3? Eugene, thank you for putting a smile on my face. I especially enjoy that little piglet emoji in today's string of emojis. So, for part 3, again, what should you continuously be thinking about for your strategy? Let's see if some of you come up with this. Hi, Rahul. Welcome, members. Okay. It's very, very important to do this. Top of the world, top of the day to you as well. Okay, so Carolina says, connect your part 3 answers to your part 2 answers. Yeah, so connect your part 3 answers to part 2. So yeah, so let's say that in this case, maybe part 2 was about some kind of exercise that you do. So let's say that here in part 2, you talked about doing regular jogging as part of your daily exercise. So connect to this concept. This will improve your cohesion and coherence score. And your overall communication score, absolutely. So that's very true, Carolina. Okay. All right. So make sure you connect. So oftentimes people forget about this. Okay. Rahul says the same. So connect, explain, and give examples. Yeah. You want to have a holistic communication for your speaking interview. It means that you don't want to just sound like you're picking out separate pieces for each answer, but you want to sound like your answers are nice and connected. Okay, absolutely. Yeah, UV says the same. So UV says we should try to base some of our answers on the cue card. Okay, yeah, Rajveer says keep using the question. In the answers and keep reflecting. The grammar of the question. Yeah, absolutely, Rajveer. That's very true. So when the question is something like, what are the benefits of daily exercise? You should right away use the question and say, there are several advantages to working out every day. These include A, B, C, and D because here's an example. This is why I go jogging every day. Okay, so that's that type of connection. So when all of these pieces that we're writing right now, when they come together, that's when you start to get into those high band scores. So keep using the question in your answers. When you do that, paraphrase just like I did, so use synonyms. And of course, you're practicing this at home, okay? And keep reflecting. And then C, always focus on answer, explanation, and example. And of course, oftentimes the example is your connection to part 2. Okay, so this is what we're starting off with. Focus on A, B, and C as we practice these questions. Everybody's clear? Thumbs up, yeah? Can I see some thumbs up for that's clear? And Jazina, I will answer questions later as well. I just want to make sure that everybody has the right concepts for how to get high band scores, how to communicate clearly, and of course, stay on topic. So don't go off topic in this part. So UV says, thumbs up. Nigayman says, yeah. All right, good. Lots of thumbs up coming up. That's great. Fantastic. So let's practice a bit, and then I'll give some feedback as you're answering these. So first question here is, what are the benefits of daily exercise? So here we go. Give me a nice full sentence answer to this question. So what are the benefits of daily exercise? Nice full sentence answer, explanation, example, use the question, make a connection to part 2. And I know that we didn't have a part 2 for this week, which is fine. Just imagine that you did. So just imagine you responded to some cue card that was about an exercise that you do regularly. Okay? All right. So let's see what Jazz is giving as a response. So Jazz says, doing frequent workouts allows individuals to keep health problems at bay, such as obesity and aches and pains. Also, it keeps us as cool as a cucumber. If I talk about the negative side, I don't reckon that... Okay, I haven't asked that question yet, Jazz. That's a follow-up question, the negatives, okay? Also, Jazz, your first idiomatic language, so to keep health problems at bay, which means to keep health problems away or to not have health problems. That's a good use of an idiom. But your second idiom, Jazz, that also keeps us cool as a cucumber, a little bit awkward in this context, okay? So don't force your idioms, Jazz. Be very careful about that. The first one's good. The second one is awkward, okay? All right, Akshay says, well, regular physical exercises have numerous benefits, such as helping to improve not only our physical strength, but also mental health. As I mentioned, I do I jog regularly to boost my stamina and stay focused in my studies. Okay, Akshay, good. I made a couple of slight corrections there for you in real time, but overall, you have the right idea. You have good structure there. Okay. All right. Jas, please don't copy paste your answer over and over again. Just once, okay? Jalpa Patel says, one of the long-term benefits of exercise is that it can help you live a longer and healthier life. Regular exercise reduces your risk of many health conditions, such as diabetes and certain cancers. I don't know about that. Maybe diabetes. I'm definitely not sure about cancer, but possibly, right? I mean, having good blood circulation and exercising definitely helps in many ways. Jalpa, avoid using you and your. Either speak in the general sense, which is a good idea for part 3, so helps people, helps individuals, or you can refer to the first person like helps me, but don't use the second person voice, the your, okay? It makes for weaker communication. So avoid you and your. Okay. Varjot says, having a lot of benefits that can't be found on fingers, and I also read one news that running 1 hour a day to improve your 7 hour of life, so I think running and jogging are doing. Varjot, lots of grammatical errors. It's quite confusing, fairly incoherent. You have to go back and review your grammar rules. And also, Varjot, it's very important that you avoid translating from your own language. I can tell by your writing that you're doing direct translating from your own language into English, and it's not working. So don't do that. Okay? All right? Avoid those direct translations. Okay. Pay really careful attention to plurals in questions. Benefits. Okay. So there are several proven advantages to everyday physical fitness, such as improved cardiovascular and mental health. This is because the human body is designed to move, and exercise really helps individuals to metabolize food and process oxygen and water. These are certainly key reasons that I go on runs every other day. Okay, so here's a quick answer from me. Again, answer, explanation, example, using the example to connect to my part 2 response. So just repeat after me. What are the benefits of daily exercise? There are several proven advantages to everyday physical fitness, such as improved cardiovascular and mental health. This is because the human body is designed to move, and exercise really helps individuals to metabolize food and process oxygen and water. These are certainly key reasons that I go on runs every other day. And you might even make the connection stronger and say, as I had just mentioned in the previous part. Okay, so really emphasizing that connection between your part 3 and part 2 answers. Okay, that's very, very effective. Okay. Are there any negatives? So are there any negatives? This is the follow-up question. Part 2 and part 3 together are designed to be very conversational as well. Okay. So the examiner will be asking you more details regarding your responses, and it's very common if they ask about the positive side that they might ask about the negative side as well. Okay, so Natalie, I think you're answering the first question there. Charmin says, in my perspective, I do not think there are bad sides regarding regular workouts, because physical activity not only enhances metabolism, metabolic processes, it's not metabolism process, but metabolic processes, but also increases overall cardiac output. Okay. All right, not bad, Charmin, just careful with those corrections there. Ois says, I think the positives of daily exercise outweigh the negatives, which are wasting time, and also it causes some physical injuries. When I go for a walk on a boardwalk, I need about an hour a day. Okay, Ois, so it's not really asking you to compare which is more, the positives or negatives. So don't give an answer that you're not being asked for. That's very, very important, students. Okay, so I'm actually going to make a really clear triple asterisk 1, 2, 3 point on that. Do not go off and talk about ideas that you are not asked about. Okay, so in this sense, the IELTS Part 3 is not like a conversation in your everyday life where you have that luxury of going off topic and saying what you want, even if it's not something that your friend or somebody asked you, okay? Although that's probably not good for good communication anyway. In the IELTS, they're quite strict about that. So the examiner is specifically looking for the answer to the question, okay? Because that shows them that you understood the question, all right? In the IELTS, if you talk about other ideas and you're not direct with the question, the examiner just assumes that A, you didn't understand the question clearly, B, your communication is weaker because you go off topic when you speak, or C, both of the above. So you didn't understand and your communication is weaker. So you don't want to do that, okay, because that will drop your score. All right, so careful with that. So let's see. Hun says, I think one of the possible bad outcomes is that daily exercise can cause physical injuries in the process. For instance, in badminton, if the athlete is unlucky, they can slip and hurt their legs, okay? Pull their groin. The groin is the muscles, ligaments on the two sides of the inside of the leg. So your groin injury. Groin injuries are very common in many sports, okay? It's one of the ones you want to be careful about. Okay, so that's when you injure the muscles and ligaments of the inner thigh. It's a groin injury. It's a very common sports injury for many sports, okay? Yeah, that's a good one, Hans. Can you think of any other one? So there could be other ones other than injury, but injury is definitely one of the negatives, okay? All right, let's see. Rajveer says, mostly the daily exercises are beneficial for people, but for people, they should be cautious to indulge in regular fitness regimens if they are physically and mentally stable. Rajveer, uncommon for you, but there seems to be a fair bit of grammatical mistake in that response, so careful with that, and it has to be a little bit more direct, okay? Potato says, well, in my opinion, there's no disadvantage of doing daily exercise. However, if there is disadvantages, I would consider it physical injury because the running path could be unconditional. I'm not sure what you mean by unconditional, Potato. That's a bit confusing. So be careful. Raghav says, yes, as the proverb states, a coin has two faces. There are two sides to every coin. In the same way, doing regular exercise brings some demerits like fatigue, frustration because of weakness after over-exercising. Yeah, okay. So again, Raghav, that idiom or that proverb seems a little bit forced. Students, do not force idioms into your responses. They are awkward and you will lose marks. So do not force idioms into responses. Okay, if you use idioms unnaturally, they will decrease your speaking score. Okay, so keep that in mind. They can hurt you. Okay, certainly there may be some deficits to regular fitness, especially if it is done in excess. the athlete can injure themselves, specifically if they are involved in high impact sports such as running and tennis. Also, they can wear out their body and have little energy for other important tasks. In fact, I've had shin splints in the past, so now I'm very cautious to not run more than 8 kilometers on any given occasion. Okay, so here we go. Repeat after me. So are there any negatives? Certainly, there may be some deficits to regular fitness, especially if it is done in excess. The athlete can injure themselves, specifically if they are involved in high-impact sports, such as running and tennis. Also, they can wear out their body and have little energy for other important tasks. In fact, I've had shin splints in the past, so now I'm very cautious to not run more than 8 kilometers on any given occasion. All right, lots of unique language here. Clearly, it's natural, okay? So because the questions are in plural, negatives, I'm trying to give at least 2 negatives. So maybe fatigue and physical injury are 2 that come to mind quickly, okay? And here's a nice word for you to learn: high impact sport. So high impact means that there's a strong impact in the sport, okay? When you're running, especially if you're running on concrete, there's very strong impact on the bones, on the knees and the back. So you have to be careful. That's why stretching is extremely important for these sports. Low impact sports are like bicycling and swimming, where there's less impact on the joints, okay? Tennis is also very high impact because you're hitting a ball, and that impact on the ball also goes through the rest of the body. So you can wear out your body and have little energy for other important tasks, so fatigue. In fact, I've had shin splints, so present perfect, okay? I've had, to emphasize experience, and shin splints. Everybody knows what shin splints are. So your shin is the lower part of your leg. It's that bone on the front, okay? So here, if I have a little bit of space, I can show you on the next question. And a lot of us have shin splints. It's a kind of a good word to know in English, so you can tell people when you suffer from shin splints. Okay, so if you think about your leg, okay, this is your foot here. So this part of your leg is your shin. This is your knee, okay, your knee. This is your shin. Okay, and if you're doing a lot of running, the shin, the bone that's in here, and that piece of cartilage can fray a little bit. So it can get little pieces of bone that kind of like hair that stick out, and it's kind of sore. So when this part of your leg becomes sore, it's called shin splint. So if you're doing a lot of running, or if you're doing a lot of sports, playing a lot of football, for example, football players often will complain about shin splints, okay? So if you're a footballer, knowing the word shin splints is not a bad idea, okay? All right, that's just some vocabulary. And any time that you're learning in these classes or at home, when you hear and you see new vocabulary, make sure to write it down. Okay, learn it. All right, build your vocabulary. It helps you to build communication. All right. So next question, let's get into it a little bit more. So again, remember, answer, explain, example, connection to part 2. Which sports are the best to do or play for long-term health and why? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for that one. So, which sports are the best to do or play for long-term health and why? All right. Charmin says, well, there are several sports that can be played in the long term to maintain good health, like football, cricket, basketball, as well as badminton. These sports not only offer people an thrilling experience. Let me see if I can find the rest of that, Charmin. Nope, don't see it yet, but you're on the right track. Okay, so why those sports, Charmin? Definitely it's important to include that. I cannot read the Cyrillic name. Is it Maria, maybe? I don't know. In my opinion, chess is a good choice for brain capacity and the speed of thinking. People can not only receive any injuries like physical types of sports in chess. In fact, played chess for 12 years and I have excellent memory because of that. So, yeah, mental sports. Let me just realign that. Mental sports, sure. I think here we're more focused on physical sports. But it's okay to say chess if you explain it clearly. You have a little bit of a confusing explanation there, and you want to rephrase that. There's some awkward grammar, okay? Benet says, from my point of view, football is a game that can help athletes to keep long-term health because it's a game for both mental and physical effort, and it plays a huge role in staying healthy. All right, Benet, it's a good start, but I'm still not absolutely clear on why it's a good sport. So can you give me a little bit more information? Okay, Oa says, I think the best exercise that is beneficial for our health is long distance running and walking, as well as swimming, because it helps people to move all of the muscles. It's a full body workout. When I go for a swim, I feel that I can increase my energy and I'm in a good mood. Okay, so in light of my previous response, low impact sports such as swimming and cycling are very good for longevity because these are both a full body workout and help cardiovascular health, meaning that they keep the heart strong. Whenever I go swimming, I feel great afterwards, both physically and mentally. In fact, I'm planning to go swimming later today, which is actually true. I'm taking my 5-year-old daughter and continuing to teach her how to swim a little bit later today in a few hours. So swimming is great, and if you have the chance, do it. Okay, so here we go. Repeat after me. Which sports are the best to do or play for long-term health? Why? In light of my previous response, notice this leading expression. Immediately, I'm connecting because I mentioned high-impact sports as negative. So here I'm mentioning low-impact sports such as swimming and cycling are very good for longevity. Longevity means for long life. because these are both a full body workout. So when you're talking about moving all of the body, your back, your arms, your legs, your head, your neck, you're talking about a full body workout, and these help cardiovascular health, meaning that they keep the heart strong. The old ticker, right? You want to keep your heart strong. If you got a strong heart, you're on the good path. Okay. So from the top, here we go. One more time. In light of my previous response, low-impact sports such as swimming and cycling are very good for longevity because these are both a full body workout and help cardiovascular health, meaning that they keep the heart strong. Whenever I go swimming, I feel great afterwards, both physically and mentally. In fact, I'm planning to go for a swim later today. Okay, great. Let's keep going. Let's keep practicing. And I'm seeing some good answers. All right. Okay, so here we go. Let's go to the next question. How have governments supported the health of the general public? Okay, so give me a nice full sentence answer. Hint, hint, there was some kind of athletic event going on these days. I'm not sure if it's over yet. I think it's just ending. That you can use. So use the real world that's around you. Okay. So how have governments supported the health of the general public? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Okay. Nice full sentence answer. UV says the Olympic Games. Yeah, Rajveer, the Olympics. Okay, but give me a full sentence answer. It's not an uncommon answer. It's an uncommon question. So if you need time to think, that's fine. Just make sure that you use the right expression. So this is an unusual question. Can I have a moment to think? Okay. So Than, that's how you want to do it. Question, not answer. Okay. Svetlana says individual sports like swimming and jogging may be good solution because they are easily accessible and relatively inexpensive. What's more, they are effective for burning calories. Svetlana, that's a good answer for the previous one. Okay. All right. Nick Hill says authorities help to improve their population's health by organizing health camps in different areas, as well as marathon events regardless of age, which not only motivate participation in sports, but also improving the health of the general public. Okay, Nick Hill, I made a few adjustments, replaced a couple of words with some better terms. Pay attention to that. Health camps is okay, all right. Careful in the beginning, Nick Hill. So improving their population's health. Okay. All right. Dark Mewtwo, a Pikachu fan. Dark Mewtwo says there are many profound ways that governments continually assist the improvement of public health. One rule that was applied in some countries is to prevent the ads of unhealthy foods so people can have a healthy diet. Yeah, Dark Mew, very good. So not just exercise, but also diet, right? Promoting healthy diet. Very good. Okay. You guys are seeing me look at the chat just off screen here. That's why I'm looking to the left. Okay. UV says, nowadays, officials organize many programs like the recent Olympics in order to increase the awareness among the masses of the importance of physical fitness. Moreover, they build many government gyms and recreation centers. Very nice, UV. Not spa centers, but recreation centers. Okay, it's a little bit better. All right, Rajveer writes, national authorities have supported the health of the general populace by building fitness centers such as gyms, swimming pools, and recreation centers, as well as organizing some global events such as the World Cups and the Olympic Games to persuade mass population to indulge in sports. I think mall was a mistype there, Rajveer, but yeah, that's good. Okay, very solid. Yeah, nice. I love the answer. I love the paraphrasing of national authorities. Okay, so national authorities have taken numerous steps to promote health among their populations, both through physical fitness and healthy diet. Many governments invest millions of dollars in building recreation centers with swimming pools and basketball courts as well. They organize major sporting events such as marathons and most recently the Olympic Games in Tokyo. These encourage people to stay healthy and participate in sport. Okay, so here we go. How have governments supported the health of the general public? National authorities have taken numerous steps to promote health among their populations, both through physical fitness and healthy diet. Many governments invest millions of dollars in building recreation centers with swimming pools and basketball courts. As well, they organize major sporting events such as marathons and most recently the Olympic Games in Tokyo. These encourage people to stay healthy and participate in sport. Fantastic. Nice, fluent, complete answer, explanation, examples, visual information. Okay, you can see those swimming pools, those basketball courts. It's very, very important. And that's how you score a band 9. Now, follow-up question. Can you give suggestions for further improvement? So can you give some suggestions for further improvement? Let's see if you come up with a good answer for this one. If you need a bit of time to think, ask for it. Okay, so you can say, that's an interesting and important question. I've never really thought about it. Can you please allow me a moment to come up with a good answer? Now, this is a long one, but it's true, okay? So only use this kind of a long response in this way when it's true, okay? I don't know about you, but I haven't really thought too much about how governments can further improve promoting the health of the public. So I would honestly answer this to the examiner. I would say, that's an interesting and important question. I've never really thought about it much. Can you allow me a moment to come up with a good answer? And then I would probably think about a couple of seconds of, well, what could governments really do to help people improve their health? Okay, Ajmera says compulsory involvement for students in athletics in schools. Yeah, Ajmera, that's a good answer. It's weird how people are actually, or schools are actually having less compulsory physical exercise. I think that's a horrible idea. So I agree with you, Ajmera, especially since a lot of younger children are spending even more time just sitting at home playing games and using the computer. It would be even more important to increase this mandatory physical activity in schools. Deepika says, my suggestions would be that the lawns and gardens of existing parks should be maintained regularly. There should be financial support given for people to pursue their careers in sport programs. Okay, Deepika, good. I'm sure governments are doing that, but that could also be done more, right? Or always be done more. Writes, I think more financial aid to campaigns and rec centers should be allocated by authorities, as this can decrease the price to stay healthy for low-income populations and to pursue certain sports that they love. This can greatly improve the populace's general health and boost the overall economy with a healthy workforce. Very clever answer, and I see that correction there. Sutnam says, definitely I would hold some events which might be helpful, and likewise I would take some steps via giving free admission to sporting facilities like gyms. Okay, Sutnam, you're saying I would. That means like if you were the government, you have to say that clearly. In good communication, you would say, if I were the government or an authority in the government, I would allocate more funds. I would do this, okay? So clearly state that. Okay? All right. Oh, it says they should increase the number of recreation facilities. They should build more pools for all ages with low entrance fees and boardwalks. And then it kind of gets confusing there, OS, at the end. So rephrase that. Okay. All right. Okay, good, students. Yeah. So I suppose more funds, so more money always, right? So I suppose more funds could always be allocated. Allocated means to be given for a specific purpose. So learn the word allocated. If you don't know, you allocate money. I suppose more funds could always be allocated to building sporting facilities so that they are accessible for all ages and socioeconomic groups as well. There should be an increase in the number of hours for mandatory PE classes in school, as many kids these days spend too much time indoors. All right. PE classes are physical education classes. We often, in natural English, will use the acronym PE class, okay? So I suppose more funds could always be allocated to building sporting facilities so that they are accessible for all ages and socioeconomic groups, so people that have different incomes. As well as there should be an increase in the number of hours for mandatory PE classes in school, as many kids these days spend too much time indoors, and that would obviously be the responsibility of the education ministry. Okay, so I'm going to stop there for today, and of course, again, to motivate you towards more physical fitness, check out our channel Fun Run that I introduced at the beginning of the class. This is kind of something I do, so I go for regular runs. I like to swim, play basketball, tennis. I've always been a big fan of athletics throughout my life, and I attribute my own successes and happiness to that as well. So I want to share that with the world. So check out Fun Run when you get the chance. Carolina has added that URL to the chat. It's pinned at the top. And for IELTS learning specifically, check out gieltshelp.com. It's got this green background. That's for general IELTS. Click that big red button to join the premium package there. And for the academic IELTS, check out aehelp.com. Click that big red button there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. It's well worth it. You've got lots of great content there to help you improve your English and your communication. Okay. Hun says, anybody who has a stabilizer should participate in Fun Run. Yeah, I think that's going to be great. All right, everyone. Have a lovely rest of your weekend. Stay healthy. Stay fit. Your number one defense against COVID and sickness is not a vaccine. It's your immune system. It's your strong, physically fit body. So go out, be active, take a walk, do some yoga stretches. Stretching is a really good idea. And enjoy every moment of life. It is precious. You're very welcome, Rajveer, for today's class. Natalie, you're welcome. Hopefully I will catch all of you next week when live classes start back up on Wednesday. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating the chat. Thank you, Eugen, for all those emojis. Much love to all of you. Bye for now.